Now, while most boys at age 10 dream of becoming superheroes and YouTubers, our next guest was a little more refined, should I say, as his dream was to own his own art gallery. And that dream, you know what? It's come true. And that's why he's here right now. Kourosh Nouri, co-founding director of Carbon 12. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
I want to hear about this dream because you've obviously had this dream for a very long time, and you have a beautiful gallery at El Circal. I've checked it out. You're great with emerging artists.
Yes.
How did it all come about, and why was it a dream for you?
I mean, it was truly a dream and a passion project around and about contemporary art, you know. And what we really forget is like those incredible artists, what they produce in what a sustainable and relevant way, you know. And throughout years and years, and sometimes, look at the current show, for example, is an artist who has been around, who has been producing incredible art since 30 years. That's a long time, you know. And basically, I dreamt without really concretely knowing. I grew up with a lot of art books, thanks to my mother. Because my mother was, back in the 60s, there was a study called the Science of Library. So a lot of beautiful art books were at home at my disposal. And yeah, and then with the years, then you start collecting. I started in the mid-90s, collecting in a very humble way.
Wait, how old were you when you first started this?
I was in my early 20s.
Yeah,
now I'm 53. Yeah, you can't calculate.
I was working at a shoe store when I was 20, but sure.
Yeah, and yeah, you start, and then it's all about encounter. You know, there is an element of serendipity in this collecting art. We always think, oh, money, and this artist sold for that much, and this artwork was this and that. This is all the narratives. The reality is, it's a journey. You enter into a process very beautifully. You talk to an artist, which is a fabulous human being. Remember, we all can get jobs that pay the bills at the end of the day, but that you dedicate 30, 40 years of your life to creating art, this is something very special, you know. So this encounter with the artist educates you, trains your eyes, and then you start buying your first piece. I remember, we're on TV, I cannot say what I bought, but it wasn't that great, you know, the first piece I bought, you know. But again, it has a sentimental value, but yet, looking back, the gallery now has been instrumental in building emerging collections as well as working with emerging artists. Now we also have a lot of established artists, again, referring to the current show, and we have been there to help people the way I didn't get that help when I started in the 90s, you know.
A good matchup.
Kourosh, I want to ask you a very surface level question. Might be a stupid question.
There is no such a thing.
What is art? What is it?
Know
if
what?
you had to define it yourself.
How much time do we have?
Beautiful, yeah, actually good question, but it's a beautiful question. That's a question that we are a little bit confronted with, but because it's almost socially not acceptable to say, you never hear somebody saying, oh, I hate art. Art is, yeah. Art is a creation, is the transformation of an idea, of a passion, of all those humanistic values into, most of the time, into an object. So the easiest simplification is a painting, is a sculpture, is a video. These are the representation. And since the early 20th century, from the day that the grand artist Marcel Duchamp created that pissoir, which was actually somewhere where you use in a bathroom, brought it into an institutional level. From that day onward, a kind of a new philosophy was adopted that everybody can become an artist. It's not necessarily true, but it's the creation of an idea into an object.
Kourosh, you said you've been collecting art since your early 20s, and now that you are a 50-something, I want to know, what are some of the exciting pieces that you've collected over the years? Because, I mean, as a layman, when you hear art collection, it sounds very much like a very posh hobby to have. It sounds like old money. It smells like old money too.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
So break that down to us. What would you say are some of the interesting pieces that you've collected?
I mean, I have to say, like, I mentioned that the first piece I bought was really irrelevant and it was really not good. But because my dad gave me, I think I was 21 or 22, my dad gave me money, typical Iranian father. You get an envelope with money inside. And he's trying to estimate, is that really your birthday today or is tomorrow? You know, so anyway, I got my money. And instead of doing something else, I said, you know what? I'm in Vienna. Let me go to at that time, a local auction house called Dorotheum. Let me go there and test my luck. And they have a floor where the leftover of the auctions are there, you know, so obviously you can imagine that those are not the greatest works of art left. And I found a very bad expressionistic scene of the Blue Mosque in Istanbul, you know. So when now I look back at it, I laugh. It's amusing because I can also tell my clients, you know, because I also advise, we also manage collections, and we also deal with collectors' education and knowledge, you know. So I'm not ashamed of showing them this horrible painting that I bought and saying, listen, this is what happens when you go with your heart. And I remember at that time, I think I spent the equivalent of, I would say 200 euros or 100, $180 or something like that. So it's not, as you said, it sounds very posh, very old money, and then after a cricket game you come and contemplate the new acquisition of the family, or you descend from your private jet and your art dealer comes with a James Bond suitcase and shows you a Picasso.
Don't forget your full neutrals outfit, that's important.
Absolutely, absolutely. But it's really not like that. It's a very, very genuine industry. It's a very strong industry. It's a respected industry driven by experts. Look, thanks to you, I'm here to finally talk in a larger audience about 16 years of work, you know. So 95 exhibitions, almost 60 international art fairs, acquisition by museums like Guggenheim, New York, Centre Pompidou, etc. So it is a genuine thing. It's not like, oh, we decided among, I don't know, golf buddies that, oh, this artist should be. No, it's a genuine industry, you know.
Right, Kourosh, please stick around with us. There's so much more of this subject that we want to discuss with you because we don't know much about it. So we're hoping you can take the wheel from here, okay? So please stick around. It's time for a quick break. Next up, we are discussing the region's most well-curated art fair. Plus, we've got live music in studio later on, so stay with us right here.